Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the rear quarter section, if you will, of this pipeline style welding bed that we've been working on. I say rear quarter section, but it's essentially the toolboxes of this welding bed. We're gonna be installing the inner skirt and the bottom of our toolbox all in one piece. And we're also going to be installing this rear rolled quarter section for our back corner of our welding bed. Like I've mentioned in the other videos of this bed project, I'm going about this bed a little bit differently than I've went about the bed that's on my truck now and the bed that I built before my current bed. There's definitely a couple different ways a guy could go about fitting this piece up against our fender. I actually got this method off of YouTube here, but it wasn't from the welding world. It was actually from, I guess you could call the carpentry world or the flooring world. They've done the same exact thing except for with flooring, trying to get their flooring to fit up against like a fancy piece of crown molding or something. Same idea, but on flooring. What I did here was I used this adjustable torpedo level and I set it on my frame of our bed here, on our 4-inch frame, and got this little bubble level with the world, and then I transferred it over here to our piece that you just saw. I had a piece of flat cut to the longest gap, if you will, and I just set this on here and I just put my soapstone on one end and I kept this bubble level and I let this end of the piece of metal just rest on the fender, and I went all the way down, and I was actually pretty pleased with how it turned out. So thank you, carpentry / flooring guys here on YouTube. I appreciate the technique. Hopefully it fits. Ought to be close. Trim that out. Slide the whole thing forward. The back should line up right where we're going to cut this 4-inch channel off. And then we'll kind of do the same thing with our rolled back pieces. Alright, so I've got the bottom of the box marked with my quartered 8-inch 90. So now, to get from the corner to my fender, I need some 8-inch pipe. So I'm going to quarter the 8-inch pipe and then cut me a section of the quarter yay long, and then trim the bottom of that plate out where I've got it marked, and then tack these two pieces in there. Alright, so I've got 8-inch piece tacked in here, matched the cope to the fender here. To kind of line up my plates, I use this half clamp that I made years ago. I obviously tack to that right there. Tack it here, and then I spin this down and push it out, or vice versa. I had to do it there and then right out here on both sides, just to keep these flush as possible. That way whenever we go to sand everything down, everything looks as straight as possible. Now I gotta do the same thing with this rear quarter panel, if you will. This sits right up here. I've got my measurement 46 1/4 from the back to right here, leaving a space for another 3/16 plate. I'll put a 3/16 plate essentially right up against this right here, and as tall as this. And then the leg of this quarter panel will come around here and go butt right up against this other plate, and that'll be our box. We'll see how it goes, but I think I'll end up kind of doing the same thing that I did with this inner skirt. Just trace that fender. First I'm going to trim that off, trim off what I don't need here, because all I did was lay this out right here, and I put a 4-foot level here in line with this mark they'd already made, and I made sure it was square with this one leg, and then I pulled from the inside here to 46 1/4, my measurement here. So the first thing I got to do is rip this off, and then I'll get it set up here in some shorties, line it up real good, and then I'll trace that same situation right here, and then ideally it should just be able to fit up right against. And then I don't know, let's see, I don't know how much of this I'll need. I'll figure that out once I get over here. Most likely I'll want this to come on around to the center of the bed, and then when the other one wraps around, we'll just have one seam down the center of the bed, versus right here, like on my bed, I just got quarters rolled and I had to weld right here and right here. But on this bed we're doing a little bit different. A lot of things I'm doing different on this bed. I've never done the quarter panels like this, so I'm literally just kind of learning as I go. Look how big them boxes are, man. Ginormous. Love it. Took a little more time on this one than I did on my bed, so I maximized this space by getting this piece bent. Versus mine, I just put a top deck and then I cut one deep hole here and the rest of it wasn't deep. A lot of wasted space. Anyway, got this other side started, this other fender hung, and this other side started. Coming right along. I'm excited to get them panels up because that is just going to help us see it, help us envision it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. For more helpful resources, check out our website, arosswelding.com. At that very same website, you can find our online store where we sell a few welding products, one of them being the thin soapstone that I use in a lot of my videos. The thing that I love most about the thin soapstone is you very rarely have to sharpen it. If we happen to be out of stock of something in the store and you want to get notified whenever we get that particular something back in stock, you can text the word shop to 405-643-7176. I'm really enjoying this bed build. I hope you are too. It's making me want to build a new bed for my truck and the 95. We'll see what happens. We'll see what we got time for. I've actually got another little project after this bed build, which is some modifications to a used welding bed for another customer. So once that project's done, we may dip our toes into a welding bed for one of my trucks. I'm thinking the 95 because the 95 really needs a welding bed versus the welding bed that's on my truck is definitely way more practical or usable than the regular bed that's on my 95. So in my mind, that prioritizes the 95, but we'll see what happens. Thanks again for being here. Hope you have an awesome evening, an awesome weekend, an awesome morning, whenever you may be watching this. And remember, learn something every day.